Hello. Hello, people. We are back. We are back by popular demand. This is the Black Raspberry Radio Show distributed by S.STREET Media. And I have a special guest. I mean, very special to me. It's a childhood friend that I grew up with from Brownsville. His name is Mike.
Yo. Marcus Garvey General, Mike. What's up?
Yo, Mike, I want to jump straight into it. How has Brownsville made you all the man that you are today, black man?
Brownsville made me the man I am today due to the circumstances. I grew up in an environment where it was kill or be killed, taught to survive at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
Came from a dog-eat-dog world.
Right. Dog eats dog. I had asked you this question jokingly. I'm going to jump straight into it. I'm going to dive into it like we always do. What is the difference between Mike being Suge Knight's friend in 91 and Mike being Suge Knight's friend in 2023?
It's a great difference. In 1991, I enjoyed the sight of blood. Today, I run from the sight of blood because I realize it's the blood of our own. Mm-hmm. So understanding that dynamic, you got to know when enough is enough.
Right.
And you got to know in order for the children to change, they got to see somebody like them.
Right.
That been through their struggle, that been through their storm. Because without them seeing a person that been through their storm, they're not going to respect it. They're not going to respect the white man in a suit.
Right.
They're not going to respect the black man in the suit. They're going to respect somebody that look just like them, that wears a pair of Jordans, that wears a sweatsuit, that plays in the park with them, that stood on the corner.
Right.
So when you understand these dynamics and you understand that without you, there's no change, and change comes first within you. And you understand the importance of your change. The importance of your change is knowing that you could change lives. You could change the narrative.
Right.
So I want to be that one person that could change the narrative for many generations to come.
Tell the people about the Elite Learners organization that you're a part of.
All right, Elite Learners is a nonprofit organization. We have a bunch of wraparound services. We deal with the violence in the neighborhood. We're an anti-violence group. What we do is try to stop the violence before it happens. If it does happen, we try to prevent it, the retaliation of the violence. So I'm a mentor. I'm an outreach worker supervisor. What I do is I try to change the narrative from kids from 5 to 24, and sometimes it's older men, because if you could reach the older men as well, they could teach their children different ways to live, a better way to live.
Right. Brownsville, what do you say about it now? What do you say about Brownsville, the then and the now?
Brownsville is evolving. For one, the men that once destroyed it is back to rebuild it.
Right.
It's not an easy job.
Right.
Because some days is harder than harder than others. So I say that to say, like, it's about, I won't use the word hope. I use the word determination.
Right.
Because hope is just you wishing on something.
Right.
Determination means you acting upon it.
Right.
Determination is an action word. When I say that's an action word, you get up every morning and you know you're determined to change something.
Right. Because
you can't change nothing if you're laying down and you hoping on it.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be an action involved.
What do you say about, it's not, I don't want to kind of like repeat the question. How was it growing up in the crack era?
Growing up in the crack era was a twofold for me, because I watched my mother get a lot of money, and I watched her fall victim to it. But I enjoyed the watching her get money part, because it installed in me the hustler. Right? So growing up around it, it was a gift and a curse. Because you could get rich, but it was hurting your people. So when you understand them dynamics, right, it goes back to loving to see blood. You love to see money, but what do you love to see that money based upon? Blood money. And I don't want no more blood money.
Right. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? 10 years from now, I don't want to jump around, but I'm going to jump around. 10 years from now, where do you see yourself?
10 years from now, I see myself first, wealthy.
Right.
And I'm not talking about with money.
Right.
I'm talking about socially wealthy.
Right.
Where I could reach a child in Japan, reach a child in Africa, reach a child in Panama, reach a child in just say Wisconsin somewhere. Right. Just being able to, when they see my face, they see somebody that they could relate to and somebody that could change the dynamics of their life.
Right. Wow, that's deep, Mike. Let me jump out of that the social politics now. Donald Trump.
Listen, man, when it comes to Donald Trump, man, it's like he a gift and a curse.
Right.
I think it's time that somebody's, and it's sad for me to say it, but it's the truth. Like, the black people been prosecuted for so long,
right,
and we don't get away with nothing,
right.
So it's a time to see somebody that been getting away with something,
right,
for so long, stand trial.
You know what's crazy? Because I have this little this fondness of 45, and it's always going back to the Mike Tyson thing. Mike Tyson having his big fights at the Trump Convention Center, but I'm like, why did the government? It's like, damn, if you couldn't get him on that insurrection thing when them people was trying to take the Capitol, it's like, all right, some sex, you know, some dirty business going on. Y'all was really tight that y'all couldn't get his taxes, but going back to that crack era, like, y'all could have brought Ronald Reagan. Y'all could have brought Papa Bush to the court on the destruction. You know, when I'm looking at Snowfall, it's like, damn, Snowfall is sure enough a history book, you know.
If you look at Operation Contra, what it's based on, drugs. They rushed into these countries, took the drugs, and brought the drugs back to America because they could benefit from it. Right? So now what happens once they bring these drugs back to America? We're going to drop it in these neighborhoods. The neighborhoods that's starving. We're going to create wealth for them.
Yes.
But somebody's going to get hurt, and then we're going to destroy generations in the process of it.
And that's crazy, Mike, how poor, and I'm going to go to Brownsville, how poor Brownsville was at that time with us growing up. And it was wealth. People had time slots. I'm going to work from 12 to 12, selling crack. And it generated the wealth.
It was a reality. That was a reality. I remember at 13 years old making $5,000 a week. On what corner?
Herzl and Blake.
You understand what I'm saying? I remember them days. You understand what I'm saying? Am I proud of them days? No.
Right.
But I remember them.
Right.
At that time, I was proud of it because I was a 13-year-old kid with big jewelry, with whatever I want. I could walk on Picket and buy whatever I want to buy.
You thought he was 18 years old.
So, like, a lot of times, you know, but I wouldn't change that for the world, right? Because when you mix all them ingredients up, that's who you get today.
Right.
And I hustle today on the legal mentality. And I hustle hard. I work hard so that people know that you could change that narrative a different way.
Right. Mike, you watch sports?
Yes.
What do you think of the New York Knicks?
Bums.
His uncle used to shut us down in the park with that. He used to always call us bums. But I want to jump on this right quick. You know, I'm jumping around. Mike and his organization had a basketball tournament in the park, and I'm going to brag about this right quick. And someone's child was the MVP. One of the gentlemen that was taking the stats was like, listen, we have never seen nobody have like 35 block shots in 3 games. 3 games on their way to the tournament, you know, to the championship. And I remember Mike passing this kid this trophy, and I had to come out and say, yo, Mike, that's my son.
That moment, I ain't gonna lie to you, that was a gift for me.
Yeah.
It was a gift for me for 2 folds, right? He was anonymous.
Yeah.
Right? and the second, so many things happened in that park for me. I remember shedding tears on the phone with you.
That's right. I didn't even want to bring that up.
Driving, understanding the significance of giving back to this park,
right?
Where many things occur, harm occurred by me. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And understanding the significance that I'm giving these kids life,
right,
at this moment,
right.
And they say men ain't supposed to cry, but the true story is men are supposed to cry in glory,
right?
Because that was a moment of glory for me.
Yes, yes. That was put together very well, Mike. That men are supposed to cry in glory. But since we're talking about cry, dude, are men supposed to cry with emotion?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. What is a tear without emotion? It doesn't exist.
Damn. How was free lunch back in the days?
Delicious.
Okay.
Like, a lot of people laugh and say something about free lunch. But if you know the history of free lunch, right? If you know how the Panthers
speak, black man, speak.
fought for us to get free lunch,
that's right.
You would have enjoyed every moment of that lunch.
That's right.
Because that lunch came with people not having money to buy food.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But people don't understand the significance of free lunch.
Right.
They don't understand that people fought,
right,
for you to have food on your table.
Right.
And it's a gift. Mm-hmm. If they dig deep into the things that they got for free,
right,
they will understand that it never was for free.
Mm-hmm.
It was on people's souls, backs, lives,
mm-hmm,
that they were able to put that good pizza,
right,
that good old fashioned donut that was heated up.
I'm jumping again. What do you think of the music now compared to the music then?
The music now and the music then, we had good music back then.
Who's your top 5? Who's your top 5 rappers
right now?
No.
Oh,
we could go with
Rakim.
Okay, go ahead.
Because he never cursed.
Right.
Biggie.
Right.
Nas. Jay-Z.
Right.
And Beanie Siegel.
Okay. Okay.
All of them told a story.
Right.
Right? And they told different stories.
Mm-hmm.
One told a story about drugs.
Right.
And being able to survive the game without going to prison.
Right.
One told a story of being a goon, mm-hmm, and didn't die, mm-hmm, still here, mm-hmm, right? Ra told a story about knowledge, mm-hmm, to self, mm-hmm, still here, mm-hmm, right? Nas told a story about knowledge to self and painting a picture of what was going on in his neighborhood, right, bringing you news, right? So when you put all these guys together, right, for me, this is why they my top 5, because they saw life through 5 different lenses that equated to my life.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because we had knowledge of self in Brownsville. Mm-hmm. We was goons in Brownsville. Mm-hmm. We painted pictures. We have stories to tell. Mm-hmm. We sold drugs. Mm-hmm. And Biggie.
What is your feelings? I'm jumping again. We jumping. What are your feelings like when you do see people from your era and you see them now? Like, what's your feeling when you see them?
It depends, right? Because a lot of people fell by the wayside. So sometimes when I see them, I tell them, yo, you could be better than that.
Right.
Whether they're looking sick or they're not focused.
Right.
Because I say to them, if I could change, you can.
Right.
You remember who I used to be?
Mm-hmm.
And they be looking like, sometimes dude be like, thinking it's just a facade. Mm-hmm. But when they see me live it every day,
right,
24/7, is like, oh nah, this kid really, mm-hmm, evolved.
And I'm gonna tell you, you grew up with some lions, tigers, gorillas, and a lot of people in that circle ain't here.
100%.
And we just lost one of our brothers, you know. And it's crazy. I don't want to be sobbing or anything like that. Right before this person left, we was all on the same corner. And I said, like, yo, y'all the last bit of family that I have here.
100%.
And I said, let me get on the train because I don't want to start crying. And a couple of days later, something tragic happens.
And you know, sometimes, right? And I say this with a burden, right? Because I could have pushed a little bit more, right? Because, you know, I had him with me every day, trying to change the narrative for him. You understand what I'm saying? Trying to slow him down from drinking, sipping.
Yeah.
We was partying. I would say, yo, bro, now you gonna come with me. Because I kind of felt the bad energy that he was placing himself in.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew where my energy was at. That's why he called me. I saw him every morning. I saw him on my lunch breaks. I saw him at night. That night, he was supposed to come to me. But he didn't. And I'm mad at myself, right? For one reason. I should have pushed a little bit more and made him come.
Right.
Like I usually do. Whether it's for a couple of minutes, whatever, it could have changed the narrative.
Yeah. You know, Act Right got Sake's book he was writing. And I said that if it's one thing that I would like to interject in that story of Reginald Thorney is there was a period of time that I didn't see Sake from 86 to 89. And this is when Sake goes into Brooklyn Tech. And I ain't see Sake until 89. And I'm on my porch. My mother sends me outside screaming at me, go your ass out there, nigga, and sweep. And I got my radio playing, and for some reason, I always loved this West Coast gangster rap. And I'm playing Easy Does It by Eazy-E, and I look on the corner, and I seen Sake get out that car. Reginald T, as I would call him in public school, and he was like, I don't go by that right now. My name is Seiko. And it's like, damn. You know, as they say, when you look in hindsight 2020, like Brownsville fucked his life up. I think that my friend was an engineer. My friend was a mathematician. My friend was a smart guy.
Super smart.
Super.
If you would sit there and listen to him, even with the stuttering.
Yeah.
Dope. You understand what I'm saying? Some people don't even know the significance of him. He was a people's person. So sometimes being a people's person, you could give your life by being a people's person.
Yeah.
So his sacrifice never will go in vain.
Right.
Because everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And we still speaking his name. We speaking his name to today. So is he a gift to us?
Yeah.
He a gift to us, man.
Seiko moment. I remember this one moment. Seiko will always throw these parties in his hallway, which the party's supposed to be in his house. And in a Brownsville moment, his couch is outside in the hallway. And in a Brownsville moment, the cops is coming up the steps. I'm laughing, joking. My fat ass is still in the chair. And the cop said, you sit down. Because if we find anything in that couch, it belongs to you. And Sake just came home. I guess that supervisor release. And he said, listen, anything that's in that couch, motherfucker, it belongs to me. And the cop looked at him. He said, and I'm on parole. So anything you fucking find, I just look at that nigga Sake like, God damn, which it wasn't nothing in that couch, but in the Brownsville moment, it'd be a nuclear fucking arm placed in that couch.
That's a fact.
A nuclear arm, like, wait a minute, what happened to the deuces and the eights?
Start dropping. Brownsville moment, things drop on the floor that you never knew was in somebody's pocket.
Yes. What is the difference, Mike, between drug use of then and drug use of now?
Wow.
That like in our era, you know, you freebase, crack, and I'm gonna go back to that crack when the first time I seen crack cook. To these kids pill popping.
I think they more addictive than the people back then.
Okay.
Because they don't just pill pop. They do any drug that's in front of them.
Right.
And it's sad, right? Because a lot of them experimenting.
Right.
and they're experimenting on stuff that they don't even know what's inside or something.
Right.
Like growing up, when somebody was freebasing or doing what's saying, you knew what they had in front of them. Mm-hmm. In a pill, you don't know what that pill consists of.
Right.
Fentanyl.
Right.
All different types of hallucinogens that may not bring you back. Mm-hmm. Because you have people that's not chemists making these drugs.
Yes.
So when you have somebody that's making a drug that don't even know the effect of it,
right,
it's life damaging. Because if you look, even when you get down to the weed, these new forms of weed, if you listen to the new forms of weed, the people smoking it, right? If they don't have that blunt, they damn near busting somebody in the head in the morning for that blunt. Because it's mixed
with something. It
ain't the back in the days Ari, the back in the days Ty. Now it's baby gumbo, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? These things are altering people's brains to a point where it ain't no return.
Right.
They fighting their mothers for an eighth of weed. They fighting their fathers. You understand what I'm saying? They getting their food stamps going about. It's crazy.
Yeah.
When you choose. What's the difference from a crackhead choosing to cash their food stamps and then a woman going to buy an eighth? What's the difference?
Yep.
With their food stamps? Tell me the difference.
Us black folks gotta work it out. It's crazy how in our time they say it's an epidemic. How white America, and I don't want to play the race card. I don't like playing it like that, but sometimes I do. I love my O.J. Simpson deck of eraser cards. How now it's an epidemic because of the fentanyl or animal tranquilizer. I go on YouTube and sometimes I see the people in Philadelphia, this street, I can't think, Kingsland Street, showing people just knotted up, and it's like, oh, we have a problem, but in the 80s, let's just lock motherfuckers up, throw away the key.
Exactly.
We're going to finance our war in Central America because we don't want the communists to get there, but we also could get free labor with incarceration, mass incarceration of the Negroes and Latinos.
Because when you look at when you go to the Constitution, right, what the 13th Amendment is.
Go ahead. What is it?
Only time the slave is enactment is when you locked up.
Right.
So you got to understand the dynamics. You got to understand the dynamics of $1 million blocks.
Right.
When it comes to $1 million blocks, the $1 million blocks is us. Knowing that there's a bunch of black people on these blocks, once we lock them up, that block is worth $1 million.
Okay.
It's so much history in between these things, man. And just think about the criminalization of fighting now.
Right.
For the youth. It's so many dynamics that's dangerous for our children, man. It's like you have to catch them and understand, like, a fight could change the course of them getting in college.
Right.
The right college. Now everything is, oh, this kid had a fight. What's going on home? What's going on? It's a natural fight.
Right.
It's a natural rites of passage of a boy or a young girl. Right. You locking them up for a natural rites of passage. This is the dynamics now. But what it is called expulsion.
Right.
Disenfranchisement. Because sometimes you can't get in a certain bank.
Right.
Because of where your address is at. Oh, they like, hold on, where you at? Nah, we don't. We no, your credit.
Right. That credit is something else.
It's vicious.
It's vicious.
It's vicious, and the thing is, this is one of the things that we have to teach.
Right.
Financial literacy.
And that is very important, Mike.
It's super important.
The economics of capitalism.
It's super important, man. Just you can't give a crash course, right? But you could teach these children little by little.
Right.
Right? Because they're not going to want to listen to certain things. You understand what I'm saying?
Certain people.
Certain people. So you give it to them, you spoon feed them. And you show them. You got a bank account? Show your kid how you establish a bank account. Right. Because when you showing these children these things, right, it's going to become a habit. Right. Even if you do it once out of the week, you teach them financial literacy once out of the week, what's going to happen is it's going to become a thirst. Right. especially if they see a penny grow. Once you plant a seed and you see it grow, you're going to want to keep watering that seed.
True indeed. True indeed.
So it's our job. I feel it's our job to water these seeds, man.
Is your organization, pushing like for things like that?
Of course.
Okay.
We have a bunch of wraparound services. We have reentry programs. We have financial literacy. We have, some of these kids is into gaming.
Right.
So we teach them gaming.
Yes.
To make money though.
Yes.
We teach them gaming to make money. All right, you want to be on this game? You want to spend 4 hours on this game? Mm-hmm. Let me show you how to spend 4 hours on this game making money. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You braiding your friend hair? Let me show you how to braid your friend hair for money. Mm-hmm. Use your friend as your tool.
And we're from the days of Atari where we couldn't get any money for playing that damn game.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like everything could be a hustle. Right. As long as you show them how to hustle. Mm-hmm. You want to play with this basketball? Right. Let me show you how you play with this basketball. If you don't become this is the thing about when you're teaching kids, right?
Speak, brother.
Basketball has so many components, right? You don't have to be a basketball player. If you don't make it playing a basketball player, be a basketball coach. Mm-hmm. If you don't make it being a basketball player, be a trainer. Mm-hmm. Start a basketball camp. Mm-hmm. You got so many components, but everybody's just reaching for that one thing where it's a small window for it. Right. But if that window closed, you open the next window. Mm-hmm. Just like if, for instance, if it's clothing, right? You might have a clothing. I might can't design, but I could go market it. Right. You show them all the different components from this one aspect. You could show them many different components. Once you start to be able to show them many different components, they might not want to be a designer. They might not want to be this, but they could be this. Right. These are the dynamics. You got to show them every aspect of what you're doing. Mm-hmm. For instance, we doing your show right now, right? A little kid could be doing the lights. Mm-hmm. A little kid could be doing the computer. A little kid could be doing the sound check. Right. It's so many different components to this one show. Mm-hmm. Just like a human body with many different organs. Exactly. It's different. Purpose. It's serving one purpose. And we get stuck in this box. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we get stuck in this box and we don't teach them how to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. That's the gift of living, being able to think outside the box. Remember, they had a box for us. Mm-hmm. I decided to think outside the box. Oh, you want to box me in? No, I want to get outside this box. Let me show you how I'm going to get outside this box. My experience is going to be my money. Right. My experience is my money. Mm-hmm. What I went through is what I speak about, what I get paid for. Mm-hmm. My neighborhood is my money. Mm-hmm. I go back to my neighborhood to save lives and make my money. Mm-hmm. I'm on the block now, but I'm on the block for a reason. Right. And I'm on the block 24/7. Because my job consists of being outside 24/7. Right. Now I could kick it with my man, right? But I'm making $1 kicking it with my man. Before we just shooting shit, mm-hmm. and I ain't getting paid for it. Now I'm shooting the shit I get paid for.
When you went away on your vacation, was you thinking about that?
I was thinking about. I was angry. Yeah. Because I said to myself, how I let them trick me.
Because you did a stretch.
Yeah, I did a big stretch.
You did a big stretch.
And I said to myself, how did I let them trick me? Right. You had all this intelligence, but you let them trick you out the game, right? So in understanding that dynamic, I started reading. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And one of the most powerful dudes I ever read, right, was Nelson Mandela, right? And I say this for a reason, right? Because this dude sat there and did 27 years, right? Mm-hmm. Came out, became the president, right? Mm-hmm. But in his process, he understood that I was hurting my people, right? And they don't say that he was hurting his people. He was hurting his people by not slowing down when the heat was coming. Right. He was still pushing forward. So in the process, he gave up his family. Right. He left his family stranded. But he stood on principles with that. Mm-hmm. And the understanding that you got to stand on principles was one of the gifts from him. Right. And I said to myself, what principles was I standing on doing what I was doing? Right. False pretense. Mm-hmm. facades, mirages, diamonds, jewelry, cars. This is what they was placing in front of us. This is even though we kings and queens and we supposed to have these things, right? But it's a way to get it.
Right.
Get it where they can't take it away from you.
True.
And that was my motto, like, let me get it where they can't take it away from me.
And throw you in a RICO.
You understand what I'm saying?
And you almost went through some crap with that crap.
I went through hell and back, man. But God don't make no mistakes.
That's right.
And I say that for a reason, right? Because I had so many men standing next to me that's dead or lost their mind or never coming home.
Right.
And I was chosen. I always say I'm the chosen one. Like a lot of people don't feel it, but I know who I am. I'm the chosen one because I was worse than a lot of people, and I was favored because I could have been in the ground. I could have been in a cell.
Right.
God said, no, I'm going to give you freedom to see how this gift I gave you, you could keep giving it.
Right.
So my choice was to keep giving this gift now. My wisdom, my pain, my suffering, I'm putting it in front of you, right? Therefore, you can see that you're going through something I went through, and maybe I could change the direction. Right. Not just with the right words, with empathy, though. Because I got empathy for the people that's going through struggles. Right. You got, in this line of work in life, if you don't have no empathy.
Right. And that's an understanding for you people that don't know.
You understand what I'm saying? It's just important to have empathy in everything that you do. Even dealing with a woman, even dealing with a child. You gotta understand, or you have to take a moment to see their point of view. Right. Even if you don't like it. Right. Just take that moment. Right. And your words will be chosen. Your outcome will be better. Right. And the dynamics of the whole relationship will change. Right.
That is about some motivational speech, like a mother effer. How long we got, Mav? Okay. You know what I want to I'll say, Brother Mike? Brookdale Hospital. What I don't like. I don't like that our community don't have good doctors. Bad enough I got bad food. Bad enough I got bad attitude. But bad doctors when our loved ones get shot. Because you know, when I had went to Latrice Walker, I was hoping that I was going to get a chance to speak, but they was giving out awards, and I was going to get up and say, please, clergy, please, elected official, please make sure within our war zone, because I just heard that Interfaith and Brookdale merged. And it's like, when you look at where Interfaith is at and when you look at Brookdale, that's a war zone.
That's what it is.
I mean, I'm from East New York. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the dynamics of area, it's like it's a war zone. Could you please have better doctors that care? And it goes back to your organization. You got to plant that seed. Like, we need to plant more seeds for doctors. You know, Mike, like, damn, like, I have never been on a corner and even looking at myself in the mirror saying, yo, son, I'm about to drink a little bit with you, but I got a surgery that I have to do tomorrow.
And the gift of this, right? You see how we speaking into existence?
Right.
Right? So many kids want to be doctors, right?
Right.
But nobody instill that in them. You know, when you look at Venus Williams' fathers, you look at these men took their kids at 2-3 years old and said, you're going to be the best tennis player in the world.
Yes. Shout out to their dad.
And guess what happened? They became the best tennis players in the world.
Yes, they did.
So when you instill these things in them, right, and you keep saying it to them, they're going to try to be the best.
Right. So
first, we go to these people, right, and say, we need doctor programs. We need medical field programs.
Yes.
Some of these kids want to be in the medical field. So why don't we start them early?
Right.
Don't let a career day just be a career day. Let a career day be exhibit. A career day be a way to show me how to get here.
Right.
Not just I'm a doctor and
Right.
I'm a fireman. Show me how to
How
get
there.
Show me the steps to take to get to these places. And that's what's not happening. Nobody's showing these people the steps to get to these places. So us as men, you understand what I'm saying? We have to show them the ways to get to these places. Or get the information, the resources that's out there to get to these places. Whether we go to Brookdale and speak to the head doctor, the administration, listen, we want to do a course with you. Where these children come in here and learn certain technical things.
Right.
How to take blood.
Especially CPR, just in case if, you got to put oxygen some way back into your friend, your mother.
Your mother.
That's right.
If somebody having a seizure, what's the procedure to do?
That's right.
These are the things that we have to, because everybody has to be a doctor one way or the other in life. Whether it's your kid is on the floor, you're going to get that kid mouth to mouth.
That's right.
But you could possibly kill him if you don't know how to do that mouth to mouth perfectly.
Right. That's right.
You could take the air out of them instead of giving them air. So, as black men, black women, we are activists. Whether you know it or not. Every person that's breathing is an activist. It's on if you're going to act upon it.
Farrakhan or Malcolm X in closing?
Malcolm.
Why?
No fear. Went against all odds. And unapologetic.
Right. In closing, we're going to wrap it up because Brother Mike got to go. Got to get to where he need to go. In closing, I want you to talk about Mike and I want you to talk about your organization.
Michael Warre, right? I wouldn't say I'm the best person in the world, but every morning I strive to be the best person, right? And in my striving, I picked a job and a career that would allow me to be the best person. Allow me the best person to my kids, my grandchildren, my wife, my family. And sometimes they don't get me because they might say I work too hard. Right. But idle time is a devil workshop. And when you know yourself, you know you don't need idle time.
Right.
Because you know the struggles you've been through with idle time. Idle time could be a man's destruction. So you fill your day with God's work. Peace.
Until next week, until when I see you people, I would like to thank my guest, Michael Warre, my childhood friend, doing a whole 360 degrees around the Brownsville planet. Because Brownsville is a hellhole, and the brother man has did his 360.
Can I give a shout out to Kamara Jackson, my boss, Elite Learners?
Yes.
Definitely want to give her a shout out for definitely giving us an opportunity to give back to our community. I don't ever want to lose sight of that.
Yes. And I hope that y'all do another tournament for my child can go in that park and get another championship. Peace out, y'all.